Going to be moving on to a health matter. The UK Health Security Agency has said that 6 children have died with a Strep A infection since September, with the seventh child currently fighting for her life in Liverpool. Strep A infections are normally mild, with symptoms such as a sore throat or skin infection, but can cause scarlet fever and can therefore be fatal. The infection remains uncommon, but the UK Health Security Agency is urging parents nonetheless who are concerned about their children's symptoms to seek medical advice. To tell us more is Dr. Bharat Pankhania, I believe that's how you pronounce your name, Senior Clinical Lecturer at the University of Exeter Medical School. Now, Doctor, would you tell us a little bit about this infection, this disease? I've never heard of it myself before it was in the news this week.
Okay, my pleasure. So this is an infection caused by a bacteria, and the bacteria's name is Group A Streptococcus. And this group of bacteria, they have different strains of it, cause a series of different infections that we're all aware of. Let me sort of elucidate. So you may be aware of things like cellulitis. That's also caused by Group A Streptococcus, same as impetigo. Young children get that yellow crusting skin infection. Scarlet fever, we've just mentioned, severe streptococcal throat. And then, of course, you can get that toxic shock syndrome from the same bacteria. So what it is, it's a range of ailments. Unfortunately, in rare circumstances, it can go on to become a toxic shock whereby you need life support or you may even die.
Now, why is this particular infection impacting such young children? Why do you think the rate of infections has increased so substantially? So
in comparison to last year, we had 4 deaths. And this year, unfortunately, we've got 6 deaths. A number of factors could be at play. And the ones that I'm thinking about and looking into are as follows. So it could be that we have a more virulent strain of Group A Streptococcus, i.e. a virulent strain that likes to become invasive. So when I worked at Public Health England, we followed up every case of IGAS, as we call it, invasive Group A Streptococcus. And what we're trying to do is see if there is a more invasive, more disease-causing strain of Group A Streptococcus. The other one could be that are we ignoring the complaint of I have a sore throat, I am unwell, and discarding it as this is viral and taking no action. So both could be at play. Maybe some other factor is at play. The last factor that I was talking about is as follows. It's very difficult to tell if you have a viral sore throat or you have a bacterial sore throat. If it is a viral sore throat, antibiotics don't work. On the other hand, if it is bacterial, we can give you the penicillin platform of antibiotics, and they work very well. Let me, for the benefit of our viewers, listeners, elucidate a little bit more about how to tell the difference. So if you have got a bacterial sore throat, which may go on to develop into scarlet fever, which may develop into toxic shock, the main signs and symptoms are you have extremely painful swollen lymph nodes in your neck, and your tonsils are red raw and they may have an exudate. You have a temperature of greater than 38 degrees, and you will feel really tired, and you may have what we call a rash. We call it a sandpaper rash. It starts in your groin, up your trunk, down your arms, and it looks very sandpaperish. Yeah. And finally, you may also have a strawberry tongue. All those are features of a bacterial infection. Whereas if it is a viral infection, and I'll finish as soon as I've done this, if it is a viral one, you have the following symptoms and signs: a cough, a runny nose, a reddening of the eyes, and a hoarse voice. So if that is the case, that's more likely to be viral. And if it is not, it's more bacterial. I hope that makes sense.
Yes, thank you, Doctor. That was very useful, I'm sure, to our viewers who might be concerned by this news, of course. I must ask you, though, scientists have been saying that the increase in the rate of cases of this particular infection may be down to the fact that children were not mixing as much and were not building up their immunity because of school closures, because of the lockdowns. Surely you would potentially agree with that?
No, I don't, not at all. If there was any evidence for me to think that this is an immunological factor whereby the children are now suboptimally immune, I would say so. I have no reason not to share all that information with you. I'm saying it as it is. I have no evidence that as a result of lockdowns, etc., that we are in a state of reduced immunity.
But how can we not be, considering the fact that people weren't spreading and mixing other viruses around?
Let me expand. So it's great to have this discussion. So these are bacteria, and at this time of the year, we do see more of these bacterial infections. And that is the case. In other words, there is nothing fundamentally different this year compared to previous years. The only bit that is different is, unfortunately, we've had 6 deaths compared to 4 last year. But if you look at the evidence for streptococcal infections in the country, it is on par with previous years. So it's no different. It's no different from previous years.
Thank you very much. I must stop the interview there, but thank you very much for coming on and explaining all those symptoms to us so concisely. That was Dr. Bharat Pankhania, Senior Clinical Lecturer at the University of Exeter Medical School. Thank him very much for his time.